Watch the game starts taking us higher. Feeling strong, no time to tire. Living dreams like our own empire. Moving fast, no looking back. Hearts on track, never slack. Hand in hand, we got the knack. Together we light up the pack. Love and passion fuel our flame. In this world we stake our claim. Two hearts beating just the same. We've got it all, never tame.
Good day, all you beautiful dreamers, keepers, and reptile enthusiasts. It's the conductor from Sky High Morse, rolling with the Show Me Reptiles. Hope you all have a great and beautiful Independence weekend. Hope you all Independence Day was great. With that, we'll go ahead and give shout outs to everybody out in the comments. Let's see. Wayne from Kryptonite Dreams, thanks for coming out. James Perry from JNS, thanks for coming out. We have the boss man out there himself, thanks for coming out. Mark Anderson, thank you for coming out. Who else do we have out in the comments? It looks like we also have the general out in the comments. Thank you guys for coming out. Anybody else that pops out, we'll definitely pull your comment up onto the screen. With that, let's go ahead and roll some of our sponsorship videos. Awesome. So with that, we're going to go ahead and bring out our guest and roll his intro real quick. Hey, Micky, thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing too much. Happy Independence Day weekend. How was your holiday weekend?
I was pretty good. It's been pretty good. I've just been busy working all weekend. Caught some local fireworks for about 10 minutes last night. It's a good time.
Nice. So with that, we'll go ahead and get into it. So Show Me Reptile Show. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what does it mean to you, first of all?
Oh, the Show Me Reptile show. Well, it's what I've poured my entire life into over the last decade. Uh, yeah, so we basically just take reptile expos all over the country and work to grow the reptile community in the industry, and kind of help breeders transition into full making this their full time gig.
Right, right. Now, you have a lot of shows coming up this month. You have Little Rock, Boise, Marion, St. Louis, Janesville. Quite a bit of shows coming up this month. With all those shows, how do you juggle and maintain balance between them all?
We have a really good team here, and it's just really time management. I'm back here, pulling a lot of strings and pushing a lot of buttons and stuff like that. But we do have a really good team. We've got a couple different departments, within the company, and they all do their own things. And I make sure that everything flows good and heads in a good direction.
Right, right. So with that now, you also not only do all that, you also help with the shows as well, correct?
Oh yeah,
And
I go out to shows quite a bit, and I do everything everybody else does.
now, for example, not too long ago, you just traveled like 16 hours and that set up a show and did the entire show by yourself. Did you want to talk a little bit about that?
I wish that was only a 16-hour trip. Yeah, I went out to Salt Lake City, Utah. Drove out there, did the show, hung out with everybody, had a good time, and turned around and drove back Sunday night. And
God, you're a monster.
it was fun. Because I had a lot of things I needed to do on Tuesday, so
Right,
I had to get back into town.
right, right, right.
All of that, but I was dead to the world whenever I got back on Monday. I
Yeah,
did pretty good. I only had 2 coffees and 2 energy drinks the whole time.
that is, now, how many hours did you go total that whole time? So you drove all the way there, did the show, and then did you drive immediately back home, or did you take a little break in between?
No, so after the show on Sunday, I hopped in my truck after we tore the show down and drove straight back.
Wow, wow. So that's crazy that you've done. So that's actually what, almost 48 hours that you did.
I don't know. I think it was like 36 or something like that. It was a long time. I don't know. It was a fun trip.
Right, right. Now, you also we've hinted about a app in the process, and there might be a Show Me Marketplace app coming out.
Yeah,
Um,
there is a Show Me Marketplace app coming out. Really excited about it because we know that the marketplace website had a couple little bugs in it, and we're working those out in the app. I think the app is going to make it more accessible to more people. Something else that's on the app that is super cool is in this first phase of the app, attendees will be able to buy tickets on there.
nice.
I believe we're going to have a discounted ticket on there for people that download the app. Let's see, there's some more stuff on the app that's really, really cool that I think a lot of people are going to like, but we're not going to talk about those things right now.
Right, right, right.
But the main part of the app being marketplace is I think it's going to totally change the user experience for marketplace.
Right, right. Now let's kind of go back in history a little bit and want to kind of tell us how did all this begin and the process leading up to where you are now.
Oh, geez, time flies when you're having fun, but this all started. The shows and everything started. I was just breeding reptiles, snakes, and doing educational shows.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a full-time job. I was a carpenter. I worked in construction up to a couple years ago, actually. But yeah, probably about 4 years ago, I worked in construction. Man, that's been a long time ago. But
Wow.
so yeah, it all started. I was just vending shows, and I just wasn't really happy with like how things were going at the shows. Like
Okay.
there were just people like selling unhealthy animals and just a lot of things like that. And I thought everybody here in the area deserved better than what they were getting. And
Right.
that's when the Show Me Reptile show came to fruition. I wanted to grow this industry because there is power in numbers. So that's, after doing it for a couple of years here in St. Louis, we started branching out into other markets because a lot, some vendors would travel. Some of the vendors would travel 17. They would travel across country to St. Louis to the show, and a lot of these people were asking us, "Hey, we need a show here like this because this, that, and another." And
Right.
so we started growing and expanding and stuff, and yeah, we haven't stopped since
Right.
then. So
Now, how many shows have you grown to now? I mean, I'm constantly looking on the website and seeing shows coming soon, coming soon, coming soon. So how many shows have we grown to now?
uh, I think right now we have 67 or 68 active locations. I know we've been in about 110 cities over the years. Some of those markets just didn't work out and things like that. So, and we also listened to a lot of the vendors. Whenever things weren't working,
Right. Right.
we would just pull out of those areas. And
Right. Now, what's it feel like going from one show to 67?
uh, you know, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Some days it can be really, really overwhelming. Especially sometimes whenever we don't always feel like we're getting a lot of support from the community that we're trying to grow and do so many things for. But it's not too bad. We've just built a really good team over the years of solid people, and we're constantly getting better people onto the team. And
Right. Right. Because yeah, that I can see becoming overwhelming very quickly trying to do it by yourself. I mean, like you said, 1 to 67, and now you've been doing this for going on almost what in October, 10 years, right?
yeah,
So it's nothing new to you. You've been doing this for a little while, and you said you started off breeding and vending. Now, do you still breed?
I don't breed as much as I used to, but there's some projects. I still breed some ball pythons. I still breed some colubrids. I've gotten into breeding some lizards and things like that. There's some projects that I still like to play with. I'll always be a reptile keeper, and
Right. Now,
always I don't know. Over the last couple of years, I've really just gotten into enjoying keeping the animals as opposed to breeding them. I've been
okay.
having a lot of fun setting up, more naturalistic enclosures and things like that. And that's something that a lot of the people on the store teams, they enjoy doing. We like, advancing the husbandry and
Right. Right.
yeah.
So, what are some of the species that you keep right now?
Oh Lord, I've got a little bit of everything, man. I've got like micro geckos. Uh, I keep a lot of different monitors. Like I've got black throats, I got white throats, I've got the Asian water monitors. I've got the black dragons, and got a
Nice.
croc monitor. We're getting ready to rehouse tomorrow into this giant room enclosure. Let's see here. I still keep quite a bit of venomous stuff. I've got rattlesnakes, cobras, tree
Okay.
vipers.
So you have a little bit of everything. Now, is there one dream animal that you wish you had that you don't have now?
No, I mean I've really kept everything where I have everything I've ever wanted. I would say a Komodo dragon, but I think really keeping one of those in captivity is it's
Right.
unrealistic for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. They
They
and
require a ton of space.
they do. And that I've heard that keeping them in captivity is really hard because usually they don't thrive. Um, but now, what would be your favorite animal that you're currently keeping?
Oh man, that's always a hard question. That's like asking me which one of my kids are my favorite. I really love my box turtles. Box turtles are what they kind of lit this passion for me when I was a
Okay.
kid. Catching box turtles out here and keeping them in wash tubs and stuff like that. So I have a couple colonies of box turtles. I have three toads, ornates,
Oh, nice.
eastern, stuff like that. I really enjoy those, especially this time of the year. They're up and active, and
Now, what kind of husbandry do those box turtles need?
so this is gonna sound terrible, but box turtles are native here, so I keep them outside, and
Okay.
they're thriving. I make a big big area out of cinder blocks. A couple. It's actually funny. I think whenever Trump was running for president the first time, I was trying to raise money to build a wall because I was gonna get like an acre or two and block it all off and put
Right.
box turtles in there. So I was trying to raise money to build a wall, but nobody would help me raise money. So I still haven't built that wall.
That's kind of funny. Now you were saying that you can't keep the black throat and the black dragons and that. Now with the black throats, what kind of basic husbandry can you tell us about those?
Well, they like to be hot. They're in big enclosures, lots of substrate. They like to dig. I mean, really super easy. They eat a lot. They eat a lot of, raw chicken, eggs. They eat
Okay.
fish. I try not to feed all of my stuff rodents because it's really not their natural diet. So,
Okay.
but yeah, lots of UVB, lots of heat,
Right. Right.
and they're happy. They're big, fat, lazy lizards.
Now, did this passion for your reptiles always been there since you were a kid? And at what age did you start developing this passion?
So I've always loved animals. I've always been around animals. I've always kept animals. I've kept birds and fish, and I grew up on a farm. We weren't allowed to keep reptiles when we were kids, so if we caught something outside, we'd have to try and sneak it in or keep it outside.
Right.
You know, uh, so yeah, I mean, it's really been a lifelong passion, and that's what I enjoy about what I do now is I get to give people that opportunity to expand on what they enjoy. Because if something like this would have been around when I was a kid, I would have blown my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say that there wasn't like reptile expos like there is when I was a kid. They were exotic animal expos, so it was mainly birds and like ferrets, stuff like that around me. Um so to see like reptiles, it was either we were going out and catching them in the wild ourselves, and you know, hate to say it, but as a kid, we were catching them and selling them to our local pet stores, and that because they didn't have no other way of getting these animals. But you know, now it's completely different, and it's amazing what you have done for the community. Because you are one of the only expos that do go coast to coast. So did you ever think that you were going to expand that big to be able to say I go coast to coast?
No, no, it was never really the initial plan. Yeah, it just kind of happened.
So what are some of the future goals that you have for Show Me Reptiles?
I'd like to keep expanding some markets and just make what we're doing better. And I'm probably next year I'm gonna open a couple more stores. Just constantly getting better and growing the team.
All right. And now with the marketplace and the new app, are we going to offer a shipping option or anything like that?
We'll see.
That's one of the secret ones that we can't talk about right now, huh? But um, so if there was one, well, I have one more question for you. If there
Sure.
was one thing that you can go back and tell your childhood self and give a bit of advice to, what would that be?
What would that be? Ooh, geez, there's so many things that I would tell my younger self because I've learned a lot of lessons in life the hard way. So it's really hard to narrow it down to one thing. So
So, there
probably
it
some winning lottery numbers or horse races or something like that. I don't know. You know,
okay. All right. So there ain't like some kind of advice that you would give them for like Show Me to maybe help expand it or something to maybe event during the building of the whole expos that maybe you can tell them to avoid or anything like that.
no, because everything that's happened on this journey's happened for a reason. So,
Okay.
uh, you know, it's brought us to where we are today as an organization. There's been a lot of downfalls and hardships and things like that, and you just got to figure out how to navigate those things. I know there's been some major catastrophes that have happened in the background that a lot of people don't know about that probably should have put us out of business, but we're still here and we're still sticking to the mission and staying the course. So
So now let me ask you, where are you exactly at now?
I'm in my office.
Okay. So do you have any shows coming up that you plan on attending or being at?
I'm gonna be up in Boise, Idaho. Let's see, next weekend I'm thinking about going out to Sedalia. I'm gonna start getting out on the road a little bit more. Uh, Again, because what I do now, because I went for years without a break, and it really it really just wore me down. So now I take a break for a month or two
Okay.
and let my team go out and do shows. That's the thing about the summertime. We do slow shows down. We're not doing so many of them. So I
Right.
usually stay at home and work on things. Like I just built this office last week
Okay.
or whatever.
Now, how
So
long did it take you to build the office since you just built it last week?
a couple days.
Really? Wow. So
Yeah.
you now was it a prefab or you said you were in construction, so yeah, dang, you whipped that out fast, Mickey.
Yeah. I move quick.
Now, with that being said, I really ain't got no more questions for you as far as the business side. I did want to go into a little bit of more of your animals that you keep.
show off the light. Hold on a second.
Oh, that's awesome.
They're bright.
Now, because you do keep quite a few different animals, and that you said there is no animals that you wish you didn't keep, or you now is there any animals that's in your collection that are up for sale or anything like that that you plan on getting rid of anytime soon?
No,
No? Now,
no,
are you still adding to your collection?
not really. The truth of the matter is, I am probably getting ready to send my ball python collection over to one of my store locations because the staff over there wants to breed ball pythons,
Okay.
and I got about 100 of those, 120 of those left that I'm going to send over there and let those guys breed them and take care of them and stuff. But
Okay.
no, usually whenever I get an animal, it stays with me forever. So
Right, right. So you treat them now more as pets than like us breeders, as I mean, we consider them pets, but at the same time, we do get a lot of stuff that we have to get rid of because it doesn't work for a project. So you don't have that issue anymore.
yeah, and I never really had that issue whenever I was breeding, in large numbers of animals. When I was breeding snakes, I never really looked at like the animals like, oh, this is a breeding animal. I'm going to breed the piss out of it. Uh,
Right, right.
I would pair my animals up every other year and things like that. And
Okay, because I know a couple years ago, I want to say 3-4 years ago, but a couple years ago, there was at a time where ball python breeders were, let's, pump them out, get as many as we can out, you know, and I'm glad to see that you wasn't one of those type of breeders. Now, what was your company name when you was vending?
show me snakes.
Okay, Show Me Snakes. So, and the logo pretty much stayed the same as you transitioned over.
Oh yeah, yeah. Whenever that logo was made, I said I was going to put the logo all over the planet, and I think I've almost done it. So,
Now, where did the inspiration for the logo come up?
uh, well, obviously Jurassic Park.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah.
I was
But
so worried whenever it got trademarked or whatever that they were going to try and hit us for likeness on it, and luckily they didn't.
all right. Well, that's about all I have for you. Do you have any thing that you would like to say to the audience before we go?
Yeah. I mean, if you're a breeder watching this, go sign up for Marketplace. Uh, Stores are affordable. The site's easy to use. And if you're an enthusiast out here watching this, go check out Marketplace. There's a lot of cool animals on there, and I know listings are being added daily. So get on there and do some shopping.
And some of the upcoming shows that you got going on. So if anybody wants to come out and purchase animal.
Well, people don't always have to come out and purchase animals, Brian.
Mhm.
It's always cool whenever people come out and learn about the animals.
Very true.
And I always encourage that because if they really want animals, they'll come out to that first show, they'll get educated, they'll do some research, and they'll come back a second or the third time, and then they'll buy an animal. But yeah, people can check out that show schedule at www.showmereptileshow.com.
Okay. And so that's about all I have. You have a great night, and remember, everybody, with hard work, determination, and positivity, your dreams too can become a reality.